Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to do something a little bit different. We've done a lot of ultimate conversions. Most recently, I did this ultimate conversion of a Greatest Hits Series 2 Shawn Michaels. And I basically built him using parts from an Ultimate Edition Series 4 Shawn Michaels. And I didn't really know what to do with those parts, and it kind of came to me that I've done all these ultimate conversions, but I've never actually done a video on putting an Elite back together. So I do have the legs from the Ultimate, and as well as the arms, and then I have these boots were from the Elite because I used the Ultimate boots with the toe articulation for the Ultimate. And then I have all the parts for the Elite that are pretty good. And I've practiced a lot, and if you do so too, and follow my instructions by taking your time and not prying on these shoulders, you see how there's no stress marks, and this looks absolutely mint. That's kind of what you want. If you do have questions or you're having trouble, feel free to message me in the comments, and I will do my best to help you out. So what we want to do, first off, we will want to heat some water to get these boots on and attach these arms to these shoulders. But whenever you're doing this, probably my second tip, the first tip is to take your time. The second tip is to dry fit everything before you go ahead and glue. So this lower abdomen piece usually fits on the legs pretty well. Like there's a bit of a gap at the top here, but that'll be hidden in the torso, so you don't need to be concerned with that. It fits on the crotch piece very well. There's no overhang there. It does look pretty good. Now this piece here, I can already tell by looking at this, I don't know if it's picking up on the camera, but these little pegs down here are a little bit bent. They didn't come off as cleanly as these ones here. So see, these actually came right out of the holes perfectly. These ones and these ones snapped off. These ones snapped off pretty clean, but the ones on the bottom are a little rough. So when I dry fit this back together, up here, like there's no seam there, but you do see a nasty seam down there. That does look terrible. So sometimes it's unavoidable. Depends how mangled the Elite is after you've taken it apart. But what I will do is I'll try to clean this up as best I can and see if I can improve that fit. So you can use an X-Acto knife and just kind of cut those off or shave them down or trim them. But what I find works the best is a pair of very small side cutters. So what I'll do is I'll just get in there and kind of trim that down as best as I can, because essentially what's happening is that they're pushing up against the two broken pieces are pushing up against each other, and it won't fit. Oh, there we go. Actually, this will probably do it. So you see, I was actually able to pull that peg right out of the hole. I don't know if I'll be able to do it on this side. I don't think so, but I can trim it down. And oops, we lost our neck peg. What I will also do is just throw it down on a cutting board, and then taking like an X-Acto knife and just kind of trimming that down a little bit, ever so carefully. Sorry, I realize you can't see that. And now that I've cut some of that away, we'll dry fit again and see if that helped. You see, it helps significantly on this side, and when I glue these back together, I press them down as hard as I can, and kind of let the super glue dry a little bit so that it will help to hold. But as you can see, just a little bit of a trim clean that up nicely. I'll probably get that a little bit better. I'll get it a little bit closer by doing some trimming off camera. All right, we got some hot water here. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the boots from the Elite Greatest Hits 2 Shawn Michaels and the arms from our Ultimate Series 4 Shawn Michaels in there. We'll let those soften up. Now, as far as the lower body goes, I already did put the abdomen on here. It's not glued. I'm just dry fitting everything to make sure that it fits okay. I will take this apart and show you how I glue these before we're done. Set that aside. Now the torso, the upper part of the torso, you take the chest piece and the arms, they're not labeled, but they actually go in, only will go in a certain way. So this piece here, this one will actually, sorry, I think this one fits on either side. Which it does. But this one, you can see it has a different peg. It'll only fit, see, it doesn't fit on this side. It'll only go on that side, so that's how I know which is the left and which is the right. Don't forget your neck piece, your neck peg. Lower torso just kind of goes in like so. Hold that carefully so the neck piece doesn't fall out. Don't forget this little rubber guy. He just sits in between the, he just kind of sticks in there. And that just helps with his ab crunch there, so he's not all floppy. And then we'll go ahead and we'll clamp the back piece in and check. We're pretty good. We don't have any unsightly gaps. And there's our upper and lower torso. Again, I'll take this apart and I'll show you guys how I glue it. We'll pop our boots out of there. Boots are easy enough to tell. Look at the bottom. If you know how to put your shoes on, you can figure out the boots. And they should snap on, no problem there. You should never have to force any of these pieces. If you do, you need to heat them longer, or you've got something that's not compatible. The arms, again, they're labeled just on the inside. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's a little tiny R in there. Actually, that looks pretty good. Sometimes you will get like a little bit of a bicep gap, but these ones are nice and clean. Very nice. Now the head, I don't know if we're going to need to heat this or not. Probably not. Oh, maybe it is a little bit tight. If the heads are tight, I always just throw them in the water just to be safe. All right, he looks good with the hands. And with the heads, even just a quick soak in the really hot water is usually all that they need. All right, I'll go ahead, I'll get this hot water out of the way and we'll see how he looks. All right. There's how he looks, and he is pretty clean if I don't say so myself. Again, there is no stress marks. Sorry, he will be tighter once I glue him. There's no unsightly gaps. And he looks like he actually came from the Mattel factory. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna throw the entrance gear on him from the Ultimate Shawn Michaels, and we'll see how he looks, and we'll do some comparisons as well. All right, now here he is in the entrance gear that came with the Ultimate Shawn Michaels, and he does look pretty good. For comparison, here he is with the Ultimate custom fix-up I did in the WrestleMania 14 Shawn Michaels. It was a Greatest Hits 2 version originally, and I took the entrance gear from that figure and threw that on the Survivor Series Series 6 Shawn Michaels. And that's how he looks. That's my Shawn Michaels collection, folks. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. We'll get the gear off this guy. We'll be right back. All right, now that we know he is going to go together well, we'll for gluing, we'll take the head off and very, very gently pry open the torso with our trusty flathead screwdriver. This wood carving knife I am using more and more. It's just such a handy tool to have. Love this thing. You can get those on Amazon for 10 or 15 bucks. All right, as far as glue, I only use gel-based super glue so that it doesn't it doesn't run into the figure. And this Gorilla Glue has been the best. The Gorilla Super Glue Gel. I have tried the dollar store super glue gels. They're okay, but they sometimes leave like a chalky residue that actually can sometimes leak out of the figure. So it really pays to, pay an extra couple bucks and get something good like the Gorilla Glue. And with the gluing, less is definitely more. So we'll start with the lower torso and just to kind of look where your points of attachment are. So we don't need a lot of glue. Really just like on this peg and then these 2 pegs on the bottom and just a drop, and then we'll put that together. So what you can't see off camera, I just have a piece of cardboard. I'll squeeze out a little bit of the super glue just to kind of get the flow starting in the tube so it doesn't all gush out at once. And then we just put the tiniest little drop on there, tiniest little drop on there, and there. Be careful not to get this on your fingers, well, for the obvious reasons, but also if you get super glue on your fingers and then touch the figure, it will leave marks. So we'll make sure that's pressed in nice and tight. More concerned about the bottom here because this part's hidden inside the torso, and that's pretty good. I always lay my figures on their back while the glue dries. We'll go ahead, we'll put there's arm fell out here. Put that back in. We'll make sure this little rubber tab thing is in the, see it sits into a little slot in there. It just helps with the ab crunch movement. Then this slides in like so. And with the torso, remember we kind of cut these pieces out. So I will put a tiny drop of glue in there, but you don't really need it in there. You kind of need it up here, 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 maybe a little here and here, but you don't need a lot. It actually probably is easier to put in the back piece. I've done it either way. It's usually pretty fine. We'll go ahead, we'll do the back. So I don't do the neck piece. I never do the neck piece. You don't really need a lot, as I said. You're just basically making it so this figure closes and stays closed. And if you did your crack clean, like they tend to kind of stay closed on their own. And push down super tight, especially down here on the bottom. Make sure that seam is closed. And just hold it for a few minutes there. Or a few seconds there, just to make sure. And then, as I said, I always lay these guys on their back, and I'll let him sit for like a couple hours, just so I know that it's dry. I don't want to pick them up. I don't want that glue to run inside, even though it is a gel based. It shouldn't. I just really don't want that to happen, because what will happen is you'll lock parts, and like maybe the torso won't turn on the waist, or maybe the ab crunch won't work, and that's just not good. All right, that is it for this video. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching.